Go back here and to speak a little bit about what is happening here in the region. An East Jerusalem man rammed his car into a group of Israelis at a bus stop at the entrance to Jerusalem today, injuring 14 people, among them a 15-month-old baby and a woman in her 70s. I-24 News military correspondent Shah Ben Ari has the story.
Oh my gosh, right here, right now. Just now.
Afternoon calm was shattered in Jerusalem with yet another vehicular attack Monday.
Terrorist inside the car, killed, shot dead.
A Palestinian terrorist rammed a vehicle into a large group of people standing at a bus stop not far from the western entrance to the city. 14 people were injured in the attack, among them a 15-month-old baby who suffered serious injuries requiring surgery. 2 others sustained moderate injuries. The assailant was shot dead by people at the scene, including a civilian, a security guard, and a member of the armed forces.
The alertness of these people must be commended. Their willingness to make contact, to get close, to neutralize, to take responsibility for the safety of their fellow citizens.
This was found inside the car, indicating the terrorist was likely planning to emerge from the vehicle. He was killed before he had a chance. The attacker was named by police as Abd al-Muhsan Hassouna, a 21-year-old Palestinian from Beit Hanina, an East Jerusalem neighborhood. Though this is one of the busiest areas for bus traffic in the city, there were no barriers placed near this particular bus stop, such as have been placed at other locations throughout Jerusalem. The vehicle eventually stopped after hitting a fire hydrant.
We will increase security measures and erect barriers along main transport routes in Jerusalem. Yes, as we have done in other areas, a work plan is already in its final stages, and I hope to speed up implementation as much as possible.
Jerusalem's mayor also conveyed a message to his citizens.
As fast as possible, people should resume their routines, continue their daily routines. Don't give them any accomplishments with all the pain and discomfort of those injured. We must go on with our lives.
Over the past 10 weeks, however, attacks like the one on Monday have unfortunately become part of the routine.
Yes, and I want to go right now live to Jerusalem, where our I-24 News correspondent Mohammed Al-Qasim is standing there. Mohammed, good evening. Can we still say that we are talking about lone wolf attacks, lone wolf terror attacks, or maybe we should call it something else? Maybe it's more organized. What is exactly the recent escalation that we're seeing here?
Well, Lucy, day 74 of this ongoing wave of violence started in early October and doesn't seem to be ending anytime soon, despite all efforts that Israel is trying to do and make to stop this wave of violence. But it continues to happen almost every day, whether in Jerusalem or in the West Bank. And we've seen recently also efforts by the Palestinian Authority to calm the situation, to stop violence coming out of the West Bank, but also, as I said, it doesn't look like it's been successful too. We've seen an intensified presence of Palestinian security, whether in Ramallah or in Bethlehem or elsewhere. Palestinian security have been spread in flashpoints in areas where there has been direct clashes between Palestinian demonstrators and the Israeli army, and it also spread its police officers throughout the West Bank in trying to stop any infiltration by Palestinians from the West Bank into Jerusalem or Israel to commit any of these attacks. But as you've seen today, that these attacks are continuing. They don't seem to be affiliated with any Palestinian faction per se. They are, so far, no one has claimed responsibility for any of these attacks. They have been lone wolf attacks. They have been committed by young Palestinian men and women as they appear to be taking these, decisions on their own.
Yes, Mohammed Al-Qasim, thank you very much for this update. And Shai, Israel is doing some efforts to try and contain, let's use this word again, this terror, let's say wave of terror or these terror attacks, because nobody is claiming any responsibility about it. We cannot say, okay, we have some kind of a group that we can fight. These are young people who are getting up in the morning, deciding to go on a car inside, just start ramming people over and just starting to stab other people. So how can Israel start dealing with that when the solution is not obvious.
Right. When you're talking about something that is not necessarily organized, often the solutions that are provided, the measures that are taken, are often reactionary, you could say. And you see these kinds of terror waves, whether they're organized or not, they often evolve. They sort of shift in accordance with developments. And we're seeing now that it was difficult for a time to carry out terrorist attacks in Jerusalem following certain security measures, most of which have now been relaxed. But I would say that certain areas in Jerusalem are better protected. For example, you could call it the seam, Route 1 as it's known. It's basically the dividing line between East and West Jerusalem. You have a much higher security presence there. You have barriers at bus stops which are very visible. It would be difficult to carry out this kind of attack there. This actually happened in one of the most central locations, at least in terms of traffic, in terms of bus stops, bus passengers. They were basically unprotected, unfortunately, in a very central location in Jerusalem. Many people were hurt as a result. We heard the mayor addressing the issue. He says a plan is in the works to really put up similar barriers. But you're talking about a real siege mentality. And the question is, for example, the measures that were removed, do they reinstall those measures now that we see that violence has not dissipated? That would it takes a toll, let's say. Jerusalem is a living, breathing city. People from East Jerusalem need to come into the western neighborhoods, lead their lives, go to their jobs. It's difficult to enforce those measures.
Yes,
this is obviously not only the entrance to Jerusalem, but also the exit point. Mm-hmm. So if this driver wanted to go to Tel Aviv on the same Route 1 in an hour, provided that traffic jams allowed him to go, he would have been here, including in Jaffa. For some reason, he chose to do it not far from home. And if we are talking about this wolf metaphor, we should understand that wolf packs now exist in the internet, in social media. They are self-motivated, but they are acting for the same reason. And Israel is hurting already because it has had to call up reserves to bolster security in the West Bank. And because the Israeli Defense Forces wanted to train for some future war, and now it takes away something of their strength, this is one achievement that these perpetrators can claim credit for.
Yes, and obviously the diplomatic arena is frozen. Shah Ben Ari, thank you very much for this. Amir Oren, you're staying here with me. Let's